Hello, everyone. Hey, it's Christian Joy. And with everything I do on here, on Substack and on the podcast, it's very I have an idea in mind that I'm intuitively led to, and then I just start riffing on it. So I think the last episode where I talked about the clairsenses is probably the only episode I ever planned out. I had to make a list of things to talk about, list all the clairsenses, because you guys know my brain by now. I don't remember everything off the top of my head. If I had to regurgitate information, that's just not really been ever been my jam, with my ADHD brain. I'm more abstract. I tend to be more abstract, but my brain is strange and interesting in a sense where I will pull in pieces of information from a million years ago that nobody would ever remember, and I'll be like, oh, this is where this applies. And then I'm like, wow, it all makes sense, put together like pieces of a puzzle. And this is just how my brain works. Salute to all the people who have podcasts or content creators who can regurgitate tons of information. I love them for that. And that's why I love human design. It validated for me in the way I think and move around in the world. And because there's the one profile type of folks who are into researching and finding all the information on whatever particular topic at hand that really lights them up. So those are people with a one profile. I have a 6-2 profile, and the 2 part of the profile is I do whatever is natural to me. And this is my natural state, just being me. Pulling information out of wherever my freaking brain hides this shit. It's really weird. But some people, when I tell them that, they're like, wow, I wish my brain worked like that. And I'm like, it's kind of neat. Once I realized that this is how my brain works and functions, and how well it works instead of other ways it could work, like the other way people use their brains or how other people's brains work. Once I realized this is how my brain functions, I'm just like, actually, it's not that bad. I can carry on a really cool conversation with how my brain works. So today I wanted to hop on because I have a really, I decided to, so I intuit what quantum hypnosis is. I want to share every Friday if I have one. So far I've been able to put out one every week. So I'm hoping that I'll keep going. But we'll see what happens. I'm following the energy of the spirit of my business. So we'll see where she takes us. I had a nice journal session, and this is my ADHD brain coming in going on off topic, but it's all connected. I had a journal. I do automatic writing in the morning, or morning pages, same thing. And I was chatting with her, and she was getting into all of the plans for today, and that was very nice to have some direction for my day. Especially when I think about how we all grew up in our American society, and since we were children, there was so much structure. And now that I'm stepping into this phase of entrepreneurship and building something from the ground up that's my own, and even my human design supports this, that I am not a structured person, there's these parts that are arrows in a human design chart, and depending on where they're pointing, it alludes to how, if you're like an ebb and flow kind of person in this area, or a structured person in another area. And there's like 4 different arrows. So most of my arrows, except for one, leans towards ebb and flow. So I just go wherever my energy goes. Like my day to day looks different. And it was really cool because there's this really, I think in the last podcast episode, I pointed it out. There's this really cool article I found on Substack about how I live in disciplined chaos. My day to day is completely different, and it's really cool because I realized in my journey of showing up and finding out what my consistency is, I haven't been fighting with how everything wants to unfold, the way universe wants to manifest through me, which is pretty fucking dope because it feels very natural, it feels very easeful, and things are just like filing into place. I don't have to think of like the linear pathway of it, like, because like when we were I was going to say when we were programmed in school, but that doesn't sound very nice. But I mean, technically we were all taught to, this is at 8 a.m. we're at this class, we're going to do these assignments. And then at 9 a.m. we're going to, like, at the end of the period, we're going to walk down the hallway and go to our next class. And then this is what we're going to do for this subject. And on and on. You guys all went to school. You know what I'm talking about. Like, and I feel like the school system, in treating everybody the same, did everybody a disservice in so much structure when not everybody is meant. I really believe not everybody's meant to function in this way. And that's why school isn't for everybody. Like, really, I don't know if I'm going to be completely honest, which I always am, for the most part, I feel like, yeah, I was not suited for school. I do not know how I became a nurse, honestly. Like, honest to God, like, goodness, like, I fucking slept through all of nursing school. I worked night shift at my job at the time in the hospital, 12-hour shifts from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. and then went to class. And I fell asleep in class. And to be honest, when I talk to other people about how they got through school, not everybody's fucking reading, like, the whole assignment in the textbook. I'm, like, not the kind of, like, this is how far my ADHD goes. I cannot always, like, sit down and, like, read a whole ass book unless it really interests me. And this was medical stuff. So I'm just saying. So I'm really excited that I chose to step into this part of my life in this season where I'm getting curious and being open to what my life can look like instead. That's what happened when I had my big awakening, when I knew I wanted to leave nursing. I was like, there's a freaking fucking billion people out there in the world, and why does my brain want to think nursing is the only way? Well, I know why, because my mom and dad, like, my whole life, she was a nurse. And my parents were always like, go into medicine, you'll have stability, and you can just buy whatever you want. And this is the story that immigrant parents will share with you, growing up here. So they tell you that your parents are biologically and in your human nervous system, they're tied to your survival. So you believe everything they say as a child, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just how we are wired. That's how our evolution has unfolded over eons. Have humans been around for eons? Many, many, many years, thousands of years. So Excuse me. And so, like, nothing wrong with that. That's just how it is. And I think it's really interesting these days when I look at how, like, when I look at the broad and general perspective of humans in today in society, and I always think about, like, how funny is it that we, like, drop into this particular time in human existence and we think this is all that is true when we've been around for thousands and thousands of years. And I'm saying this because when we're, like, in this part of modern society where technology is becoming a big thing, like, even more so than before, and science is like, some people really, like, I love science, like, that's the thing that they trust the most, when there was a time in society and history where astrology was a science, and that was the only truth at that time frame. So the reason why I'm saying this is that why, like, not why, but question your reality. Everything that we know today all started, like, experience today in our reality started from an idea, and somebody decided to put it out in the real world, and that became our reality, and we just accept it as truth. That's how we're taught to exist. This is the way things are, this is true, and this is just how it is. But what if we decided to be open, instead of leading with our minds, we led with our hearts and our souls and our alignment? What would happen? Because, as I've said before, our brains only create a future, a reality based on our past experiences. So we're continually perpetuating the past over and over again. But what would happen if we tapped into our hearts and our souls? And what would we find there instead? And what reality can we make from that place? And that's why I love everything I'm doing right now. I love all of it. It's amazing. Like, all the ideas that come to me and all the possibilities when I tap into my heart space and my soul, connect with my soul, all my guides. There's, like, grand plans going on in the background. They don't clue me into all of it, but I get this, I feel the energy and the air behind it, and I'm, like, all for it. Like, when I connect with the spirit of my business, actually, she gave me her name today. It's not that she gave it to me. I asked her for her name for the first time, and her name's Serena, Serena. And I was like, oh, it's a very pretty name. And this is similar to, like, if you talk to your parts, you can talk to the spirit of your business. You can talk to the parts of you, like your inner child, your inner teen. You can, with intention, talk to the energies that you're working with, which is, like, the spirit of my business. And like I said before in I don't remember what episode it was, but one of the episodes before, I come from the frame of thought that everything has a spirit, everything has an energy. Everything is energy, so it has a spirit. And it comes from the frame of belief, I believe, from the Kanto religion. It's not really a religion, but the Kanto belief system. I might be botching the name of this, but it comes from Japan. And they believe, if they are of the belief, because they're not, like, they don't push people into spirituality there or religion. You choose whatever you want, which I vibe with very much so. And so, yeah, everything has a spirit, even, like, the plastic bottle. So, that being said, I connect with the energy of the spirit of my business, and I believe it's, which quantum hypnosis is? Hold on, please. Okay, I had to look back on my list. So the quantum hypnosis collection on Substack is growing, and I have this great quantum hypnosis recording on their experience. It's number 2, called Inner Child Surprises, and it's me connecting for the first time with the spirit of my business, and she showed up as a unicorn, so that's why you'll see a unicorn on the podcast art. And it's really beautiful how this relationship has evolved, and even the spirit of my business has a human design profile. So when I checked that out, I was like, oh my god, she's a generator. And when I realized that, I was like, oh shit. Okay, so she's a 5-1 generator, sacral authority generator, so she listens to her gut instincts. And I'm a manifesting. This is how I use human design, by the way. I use it to how do I relate to other people. And I'm a 6-2 manifesting generator with emotional authority. So, and I know I'm saying a lot of words, just take it one bit at a time if you don't know what I'm talking about. But with manifesting generators, this energy type in human design, and generator is another energy type in human design, which my business is. Manifesting generators tend to move fast and all over the place. Generators are fast, but not as fast as manifesting generators, and they tend to be a little bit more linear. And take this with a grain of salt. It also depends on the energies you are surrounded by also. Like, say if you're a projector, which is another energy type, you can be easily influenced by the energies of other people around you, especially if they are generator types. So if what I say doesn't resonate, there's a reason for it. There's environment is a big piece of it. So if it doesn't resonate, trust it. So when I realized that my business, which is a generator, moves slower than I do, I realized that I was like, oh shit, she has her own timeline, her own path, her own journey. And I can't force her to happen. And I'm like, my Capricorn in my astrology is like, work, make it happen, do all the things. That's like my old programming coming through too. Is like, I gotta make it happen, gotta do the thing, hustle and grind, blah, all that gross stuff. And then when I realized that, I was like, oh shit, well, I can't make her go faster than her soul path. I believe that the spirit of my business has her own soul path. If she can have a human design, she has her own soul path. If she's a spirit, she can have her own soul path. So I was like, well, let's see what happens. Like, okay, I'm not going to do anything for my business today because it's clearly not time to take the next step. She leads with her gut instincts. So what am I going to do with my time instead? And I realized my whole energy in the moment just expanded. And I was like, holy shit, I actually have a lot of room to do way more things that is not business focused that I want to do. What does Christian want to do instead? And a lot of what happened is over the past year and a half is I ended up healing different parts of me, like the inner child part of me, exploring creativity. What does stepping into joy look like instead of working? Because my Capricorn be focused and wants to make shit happen. And it's so easy for me to be in that mode because it's such a solid and ingrained neural pathway in my brain. Your brain will go towards the path of least resistance. It's true in our nervous system. So if you have a particular way of being that you are accustomed to, your brain will always lead you in that direction. But when you learn new things, until you learn how to have an easeful relationship with learning new things is going to be challenging. And that's another piece of what I healed over the past year, is learning to step into new things and being okay with it. and which is such a fucking flex. I'm gonna tell you guys, set the intention now to learn new things. Just healing your nervous system with learning new things, and I'm telling you, you can shoot to the fucking moon from there. As long as you've learned to like engage in new things and deal with the shadow that comes through that, from that. Like, doing new things that you've never done before will always, like, your brain doesn't like it, and then all your limiting belief thoughts come through, and the inner shit talker will come out too if you haven't healed that relationship either. And it feels very uncomfortable. And if you haven't gotten to that space where you're like, that thought, if I am thinking my thoughts, then I am not my thoughts. Meaning, if you're thinking your thought, it's not true. You are thinking a thought as an action you're taking. It's just a thing that happens that's like coming through in your brain, and it's just a way for your brain to keep you safe and to keep you on the easy path. But like, as with all things in the old adage, like, good things are not always easy. We can choose for it to be easeful. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like when I chose to excuse me, have a better relationship with doing new things, I feel like I found the shortcut into like stepping into all the shit that I want to do. And this includes things that scare you. That's your brain fucking with you and stopping you from doing something that can honestly benefit you, and honestly, in other people's perspective, might not really be that scary objectively. It's just this dialogue that happens in your brain. So anyways, I'll stop riffing off the nervous system in the brain. Why I'm talking about all of this is a part of the whole... Why did I originally come on here? I wanted to talk about past lives. So I'm like, how is this tying in together, spirit? Because the spirit of my business is like, just start with a topic and then go from there and just trust. This is what she told me this morning. Just trust that whatever wants to come out of your mouth is what's supposed to come out of your mouth. And I started with the idea in my mind as past lives, and then for 23 minutes I talked about something else. So bear with me. I don't know what's happening right now either. ADHD brain. But so what I wanted to talk about. Oh, okay. I think I know how this is tying together. So tomorrow I decided it felt right to... I've been putting out a lot of intuition, psychic content for the past like week and a half now. To share the workshop that Renee and I are putting out next week. We are holding a workshop, the Tarot Tales and Oracle Insights workshop. It's a fun tarot workshop where we learn how to use divination tools, tarot and oracle, whichever deck you have. Dust it off. You never really learned how to use it, so you might as well learn with us. Totally free. And we'll learn a little bit of history of where the origins of these tools came from, and then we're going to play with them. And then I think Renee might be channeling too for some people who do decide to come and join us, so that will be exciting. And a replay will be available for a week through my Substack until... like for a week, and then it'll be archived into paid subscription. So that being said, with the intuition and psychic piece of it, when I went to quantum hypnosis for myself, and all the modalities and services that I share with you guys, I only share things that I use myself, because I can speak to it from personal experience. It just, to me, it makes sense to do it that way. But, and for the hypnosis that's coming out tomorrow, it felt really important to share this one because I had an intention. I had this hypnosis like a year ago, and I just like wanted to ask about past lives, and I was really curious what would happen because in quantum hypnosis it's very like a feeling. It can be a visual experience. Most of the time it has been for everybody I've done it for, and I wanted to ask about past lives. And the year prior to that, I had like a million Akashic readings. I had a brilliant idea to barter life coaching sessions for Akashic readings, and I swear I had like over 30 Akashic readings that year. And one of these days I'm going to have a Akashic reader on the podcast to interview, and I have someone in mind, but whenever that happens, because you all know me, I'm going with the flow over here. And I asked about past life. I just wanted to know what would show up because I already know a lot of my past lives. I have like many past lives, and this one was really cool because they're past lives I've never engaged in. It was my seeing experience in my mind's eye, in this, like when you're in the quantum hypnosis realm. Hypnosis is just a hypnotic state in the theta brainwave state. It's a deeper, it's basically deep meditation. It's a space where you are right before you fall asleep and it's right after you wake up. So everybody's been in a hypnotic state, right? So in that deep hypnotic state, and what hypnosis is, like, okay, so if you're saying everything is a hypnosis, Christian, then why even use the word? Well, for me, for my practice, hypnosis is the intentional use of the hypnotic state or the theta brainwave state where we go into quantum hypnosis. Psychics will go into lighter meditative hypnotic states. Quantum hypnosis is like the deepest before sleep. So, and in hypnosis, to me, is the intentional use of the hypnotic state for whatever intention is on your heart that you want from the experience. And that could be literally anything. That's why the word quantum is there. It's literally any possibility is possible. And my intention was to see past lives. And as these hypnosises come out, I also put in the intentions, like for the quantum hypnosis collection, I also put the intentions of each person who the hypnosis was facilitated for. So if you guys are ever interested, you'll have ideas from there. And in the hypnosis that's coming out tomorrow, that you guys can listen to through paid sub, just FYI if you didn't know, $7.77 a month, cancel anytime. That I connected with a lifetime as a tree, a lifetime as a merman, a lifetime as a witch, and a lifetime as an alien. And I was like, how fucking cool is this? I'm like, who wouldn't want to get hypnosis? But that being said, you're going to receive whatever you're ready for. And if you're not ready for it, it's not going to happen. And I have a caveat to that. If your higher self thinks you are ready for it, you're going to experience whatever you're meant to experience. And it's led by your intention. And if you don't want to be hypnotized, you can't get hypnotized. Free will is such a huge factor in hypnosis, and I don't think a lot of people know that. Like, if you don't want to be hypnotized, you're not going to be hypnotized. And some people are going to be like, well, Christian, what about those people who get picked out from the crowd at like hypnosis events? Like, there's a hypnotist on the stage and they pick a volunteer. That's the thing, though. The hypnotist always picks a willing volunteer. They want to be hypnotized. They're not picking people who don't want to be hypnotized, and that's why the show works. So I digress. So and the reason why I wanted to put this one with past lives, and I'm air quoting past lives because I don't necessarily think that all of them are from the past experiences. I don't think they are necessarily. This goes in a whole. Let me take a step back because this is going to go into a whole different topic and it will make this episode like an hour long. So I will record another episode about the soul path, soul contracts, and all that stuff. So I don't necessarily think everything's in the past. It's too linear. The soul doesn't live linearly. It's just energy, and past this experience, time doesn't exist. So I don't necessarily believe all these experiences were in my past. And just take a breather on that one. Like, take it if it resonates. It gets really weird in my space. I get into really weird, deep, crazy conversations, but I fucking love it. And if it's not true, I don't fucking care because it's fun. It's fun for me. So, anywho, and I meet a lot of people who love talking about this stuff. So, fuck it. Like, it's so good to have these kind of queries and just conversate about something that might not be true. But it resonates to me, so it doesn't really matter. I don't care if it's not true or not. My ego is so... I, tamed my ego so hard that she doesn't butt in anymore about it. Before she would, argue the point of, well, it's not true, don't do that. People are gonna think that you're crazy. I really honestly don't even give a shit anymore, which is really awesome. The world's my oyster after this, once my ego is a little bit tamed. And I'm not saying that the ego is totally a bad thing. The ego serves a purpose. It's a part of our humanity, so, which is another whole other conversation too. So, why I wanted to share my past life hypnosis, my personal hypnosis with you guys, is that the witch lifetime, very important piece of my soul experience in this lifetime, especially now with my intuition coming back more online. And I found it very important that I first of all, I find it very interesting when people have multiple lifetime experiences in one hypnosis. It alludes to the fact of the different facets of you as a person, human or soul, and there's a part of me that's very witchy, and she's giving crone vibes, older lady vibes, and I love that story in this hypnosis so much because it actually, when I had this hypnosis and the witch story came through, my witch past life came through, I cried a little bit because it's actually a really sad story, but really good. It resonated with me and the energy of the witch rune. If you have, okay, let me just say this: if you're a person who identifies with the witch rune, or being afraid of being seen or telling your truth, you might get some medicine out of listening to the witch past life story in this hypnosis. If you feel like you're not of this earth, you might resonate with the alien one. It doesn't go into deep details because, and I've asked this many times in my past hypnosis experiences with my higher self, oh, can I see alien lifetimes? And my higher self is adamant that I'm not supposed to know this stuff yet. So I'm just biding my time because I would like to know more about Egypt past lives and more about my alien past lives. But She's made it very clear it's not the time. And it's funny, right? Like, you set an intention to see something and she's like, nope, not yet. And you're like, ugh. But that's the same with like psychic experiences too. If you ask questions, you're like, I'm not getting an answer. It's not the right, it's about divine timing. The timing is not right yet. And if you get a piece of information, it's crazy what a little piece of information could do, that they would withhold it for now. That little piece of information can divert you on your time, like divert you on your path onto a different timeline. So she's been very adamant about that. And then the tree, if you resonate with nature, I would say you will like that one too. I love that one also. And then the merman one, that one was very, like, if you're a very watery energy type person and into people things, like if mermaids resonate with you, you might like that. And anything with a sense of community. There was a lot of community energy out of that one. And I noticed, like, as time has went on since I've had this, I think this hypnosis is 2 years old now, I can see where each of those lifetimes plays a role in my life today and everything that I'm building. So I was like, wow, that's it's like really fucking cool. Like, I enjoy this so much, you guys, if you can't tell. And it's nice to be validated for who I am, the way I want to come through as a person, like who is Christian Joy about, my values, and having more empathy and compassion for whatever experience I'm having, other people, what other people are having in their experiences, because I get to connect with these past lives and learn from these experiences. It's I love this modality so much. Anyways, so and another healing that came through about learning about different lifetimes of mine is, and what's the cool thing about hypnosis too, is when you step into the experience of it, you're in a suggestive state, and whatever happens in this place, your brain doesn't recognize it as like conscious awake moments versus asleep moments. So when we're engaging in this space, we are rewiring your nervous system to be more of your higher self, because this is what your higher self wanted to show you, so you could connect, embody your higher self in your waking moments. So I always encourage my clients, after they have this hypnosis session, that sometime in the future, maybe 6 months, maybe a year later, because this becomes a subconscious memory, this experience, this quantum hypnosis experience, revisit the hypnosis recording. Everybody gets a recording of their experience, and see what life, like, notice how you live your life now. I live my life very much, like, very differently. And I think it looks like I've been I've been intuitively guided to doing 2 to 3 a year. So, and I connect in this space in different ways now. I don't do a whole quantum hypnosis spiel anymore as much. I have other tools and ways of connecting into the space differently, and it doesn't take as much time. But I might share those later. But yeah, check out this hypnosis. I loved it so much, and the I love the witchy past lifetime because it's like a lot of my intuition is coming online. The energy of the witch, and which is the energy of the creative, like which energy is creativity. It's all connected. So, anyways, check out the Quantum Hypnosis collection on Substack. I will link it in the show notes. If you guys want, no pressure as usual. If you guys want to leave a rating, review, or comments, you can do that in Spotify or Apple or wherever you listen to this too. Or you can guys like connect with me on Substack because I'm always on there. I'm in the chat. I'm answering comments wherever you guys are connecting with me in here. And let's talk. I love, like, somebody just messaged me yesterday because I put a what did I put recently out? I don't remember, but it was something about what are we like connecting within our intuitive spaces. And somebody said like, "Oh, I connected to gnomes recently." And I was like, "Gnomes? How fun." I connected to fairies and hypnosis as well. So those energies are a lot of fun. And the unicorn energy, so good. Medicine, beautiful, like joyful, playful, easeful, like all the good things. So, and I'm and for behind a BTS moment that I'm having on Sunday, I'm getting another hypnosis done for the first time in like over 6 months. So we'll see what happens with that. My friend Sarah is facilitating for me, and she's gonna have I interviewed her and she's coming on soon, so I am so excited to share her with you guys. She is such a delight, and she connected with me. Ooh, I had a Jesus connection in one of my hypnosis sessions, so stay tuned, you guys. Lots of goodies coming soon. All right, see you guys later. Bye-bye.